Let's move on to the next module, and in this module we'll do the sums which are absolutely similar to the sums that we did in the previous module, that is identifying whether a given list of numbers is an AP or not. So let's do it. Let's continue with those sums. Sum number 1, which of the following is an AP? We know what's an AP. Let us start. Sum number 5, sum is 1, 3, 9 and 27. What do? We find the difference between the two consecutive terms. But before that, the denotation. A1 is equal to 1, A2 is equal to 3, A3 is equal to 9 and A4 is equal to 27. Right? Now do what? Let's find the difference between the two consecutive terms. What's the difference? A2 minus A1, which is equal to 3 minus 1, which is equal to 2. After finding A2 minus A1, now what do we find? We find A3 minus A2. What is A3 minus A2? It's 9 minus 3, which is equal to 6. What do we observe? We observe that the difference between the two consecutive terms is not same. And because it is not same, the given sequence is definitely not an AP. Simple. Let's move on to the next sum now. The next sum is sum number 6, A, 2A, 3A, 4A. How do we start? We need to find the difference between the two consecutive terms. But before that, let's give it a denotation. The first is A1 is equal to A, A2 is equal to 2A, A3 is equal to 3A and A4 is equal to 4A. Now let's find the difference. A2 minus A1 is equal to 2A minus A, which is equal to A. A3 minus A2 is equal to 3A minus 2A, which is equal to A. A4 minus A3 is equal to 4A minus 3A, which is equal to A. What do we observe? We observe that the difference is absolutely the same, and because the difference is absolutely the same, the given sequence is definitely an AP. Simple. Let's move on to the next sum. Oh, the fraction. Just take care of the calculation, the concept remains the same. What we need to do? We need to find the difference between the two consecutive terms. But before that, give it a denotation. A1 is equal to 2. A2 is equal to 5 upon 2. A3 is equal to 3. And A4 is equal to 7 upon 2. Just take care of the calculations here. Right? LCM. We all know that, right? So not a problem. Let's start. A2 minus A1 is equal to 5 upon 2 minus 2. Now take the LCM. So 2 and 2 will get multiplied and you will get 5 minus 4 the whole upon 2. Clear? LCM, 2 and 2 gets multiplied. So you get 5 minus 4 upon 2, which is equal to 1 upon 2. The calculations are similar now. We find A3 minus A2. What is A3 minus A2? It is 3 minus 5 upon 2. LCM, 3 and 2 will get multiplied. We will get 3 2s are 6. We get 6 minus 5 upon 2, which is equal to 1 upon 2. Now we find A4 minus A3, that's 7 upon 2 minus 3. Again 2 and 3 will get multiplied, right? So we get 7 minus 6, 3 2s are 6 upon 2, which is equal to 1 upon 2. What do we observe? We observe that the difference is absolutely the same. And because the difference is absolutely the same, the given sequence is definitely an AP. As simple as that. Let's move on to the next sum. The next sum is minus 1 upon 2, minus 1 upon 2, minus 1 upon 2, minus 1 upon 2. A very, very simple sum. So what do? Let's start. Let's find the difference. Before that, give it a denotation. So A1 is equal to minus 1 upon 2. A2 is also equal to minus 1 upon 2. A3 is equal to minus 1 upon 2. A4 is also equal to minus 1 upon 2. So all the four terms are same. So will it be an AP? Let's see. A2 minus A1, you get minus 1 upon 2 minus of minus 1 upon 2. That's minus 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 2, which is equal to 0. Right? A3 minus A2 will again be minus 1 upon 2 minus of minus 1 upon 2. So minus 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 2, which is equal to 0. A4 minus A3 will again be equal to minus 1 upon 2 minus of minus 1 upon 2. That's minus 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 2, which is equal to 0. Now because all the terms were same, the difference is definitely going to be the same and it will be 0. right? And because the difference is same, the given sequence or the given list of numbers is definitely an AP, right? Let's move on to the next sum. Root 3, root 6, root 9 and root 12. Now the sum is related to roots, right? Just take care of the calculations. Let's do it. Let's find the difference between the two consecutive terms. But before that, A1 is equal to root 3, A2 is equal to root 6, A3 is equal to root 9 and A4 is equal to root 12. Let's find the difference between the two consecutive terms, A2 minus A1, which will be equal to root 6 minus root 3, which is equal to root 6 minus root 3. Two irrational numbers you cannot add and subtract. Let's go to A3 minus A2. A3 minus A2 will be root 9 minus root 6. Root 9 can be written as 3, so you get 3 minus root 6. Can you simplify this further? No, you can't. Right? 3 minus root 6 cannot be simplified further. So what do you observe? The difference is definitely not the same. It is definitely not a constant. So given list of numbers is definitely not an AP. As simple as that.